And welcome back to Daily Wrap. Let's read some of your viewer comments. First up, we have some comments from Kim Davis, or on Kim Davis, and it comes from Hank, who says, how is a ruling legal if enforcing that ruling requires violating the Constitution? To enforce this decision means that the Constitution will have to be violated. Therefore, their ruling should not stand. Rick, you're in total agreement.
That's the dumbest thing. Well, but we'll get to it in a minute. Here is a question from me. Scott asks, Rick, since marriage isn't addressed in the Constitution and has always been interpreted as a 10th Amendment issue, can the Supreme Court continue to rule something as constitutional where it isn't addressed in the Constitution? As in the case of marriage, can the Supreme Court essentially rewrite the Constitution with their rulings? A resounding yes. They can. That's why the Supreme Court was created by the founders. The judiciary is there to interpret law and make rulings. Nobody else can tell us. The Constitution does not list every possible thing that comes up. There are hundreds of SCOTUS cases every year that call upon them to interpret what was intended in the Constitution. You may not like the way that they interpreted this one. You may think they are totally wrong. Doesn't matter. The Supreme Court has ruled that when we don't allow same-sex marriage, that it violates the Constitution. Don't you agree, Noah?
What I find really remarkable here is that we're all really asserting the rights under the 14th Amendment of equal protection.
He's asserting them under the 10th.
Well, the 14th Amendment of the Equal Protection Clause is what justify the Obergefell decision, right? And so we're having a substantial problem on the right with the 14th Amendment because it justifies equal protection under the law, and it also justifies birthright citizenship. So the right has now really forced itself into this debate over the 14th Amendment, which is just about the basis of every anti-discrimination law we have in this country. It's the commercials write themselves. It's really sort of poor politics, even if you're just remotely familiar with how politics is played on a dirtier level.
And you know what the funny part is? You raise a great point, because I understand the rights argument on the birthright question. I don't know that I agree with it, but it's a logical argument. So what's going to happen? This will eventually be tested where? In front of the Supreme Court, who's going to have to do what? Interpret what was intended in the Constitution. And if it comes out the way you like it, you're going to go, well, of course the Supreme Court's there to interpret the Constitution. Besides, the word birthright's actually in the Constitution.
We asked you last night and tonight if Hillary could ever recover from her email scandal. Here is what some of you had to say about that. Kevin says, no! Exclamation point. Hillary is finished when it comes to elected office. She may be appointed somewhere in the future. Appointed? What, to the Supreme Court? What are we talking about here?
I don't think to an IT position.
Probably not. You know, well, I said, they asked her, you know, well, do you think that your server was hacked? And she answered, what, with a machete?
And John says, if anyone but Hillary Clinton did what it appears she has done, they would have been indicted months ago. Key word there, appears. Guilty or not? Huh? I won't say she did it because I can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt myself, but she looks guilty. I wouldn't elect her to be a dog catcher with her track record with the truth, and you are absolutely entitled to that point of view, but you surely mixed things up there when you said she may not have done it, but she would have been found guilty months ago.
I hear that analogy a lot, by the way. Do we still elect dog catchers?
Yes.
Do you run for that?
In some places. In
really?
some places. Yeah.
Animal control officers.
Yeah.
Wow. But you run for that? You put up
Not
posters and
everywhere.
everything?
Hey, we elect mosquito abatement commissioners in
That's
some
true.
places.
You have too much money in your district.
I would think electric fences and everything would make the dog catcher kind of obsolete. I've never seen one before. Anyway, Mona says, I doubt if the Democrats care anything about what Hillary has done. It's kind of true. If she isn't indicted, they will vote for her, not Rick Unger. Why not? They will vote for anyone who supports killing babies. Hey now. They will support anyone no matter how immoral they are. To that point, 70% of Democrats still support Hillary Clinton, despite the fact they know she did something here very, not only wrong, but irresponsible and reckless.
Irresponsible, yes, I agree. But the comment was so offensive on so many levels, I don't even want to talk about it.
We didn't have to go to the debate.
71% support her because her only opponent right now that anybody knows is Bernie Sanders. The others are completely unknown, and Joe Biden isn't running yet. Anybody in that circumstance with her name ID would have 71%.
Right.
It's a vessel to power, but they don't necessarily support the candidate.
But the reality is it's probably going to end up that way. You're absolutely right.
Biden's running.
Maybe
Oh, he
he
is.
is.
Biden is running.
Maybe he is. I hope you're right. I'm a fan. Jason says Democrats pull the lever for candidates with D's after their names, whereas Republicans no longer seem bound by fealty to their party. I'm not even sure what a Republican is in this election cycle. There is a limit to the benefit of steering into a skid, and the GOP clown car has crossed the double yellow center line and is careening towards an oncoming, fully laden Freightliner in the form of straight ticket dumb voters. I love how that person writes.
Wow.
You're up, Joe.
It was like reading War and Peace, more or less. Well, anyway, that's your comments. Keep them coming. Remember, if you want to weigh in on any of the issues we talk about here on the show, be sure to go to newsmaxtv.com/comments and let us know what you think. And be sure to get your copy of Ben Carson's book, One Nation. Absolutely free. All you have to do is pay $4.95 to cover the cost for shipping. Call 1-800-655-7567, 1-800-655-7567, or visit newsmax.com/Ben. Yay or nay, that's next. This is the Daily Wrap.